It's do or die time in Big 12 basketball. So, who's alive and who's on life support in both men's and women's hoops? From the Dodge Sports Desk, I'm Jenni Carlson, and this is the Big 12 basketball edition of the Bedlam Nation Conversation with John Rohde. John, let's start by talking about the men, and you can't talk about Big 12 men without talking about Blake Griffin and his concussion. He's missed 2 games. The Sooners have lost both. They go to Tech this weekend. Does he play? To play or not to play? Is that the question right now?
Well, let's hope they err on the side of caution. You know, Jenni, he's going to sign a pro contract worth about $15 million for 3 years, and got to keep that in mind. It's not about getting the number 1 seed. It's not even about the Big 12 title. It's about Blake Griffin, what's best for him. So I don't have any insight. I'm sorry. My guess is he would play. You had 43 and 20 against him. I think he'd like to see him again.
Yeah, well, and as we talked on Monday night during that game, he looked completely
He's out of it. Totally out of it.
Unable to play that night.
And you could tell by the coat he wore. I'm sorry.
Bam! Okay, Oklahoma State riding a 4-game winning streak all of a sudden. They win a midweek game at Colorado convincingly. Are the Cowboys alive, or are they still teetering on the side of maybe not getting in the NCAA tournament?
Well, they did what they had to do, and they did what they should have done. They beat 4 teams that were beneath them in the standings. Now it's showtime. Texas Saturday, K-State at home the following Tuesday, and then of course Bedlam. If they win 2 out of those 3, I think then they're back. But right now, K-State has got them, Jenni. K-State has gotten victories over Texas and over Kansas, and those are 2 things that. OSU hasn't beaten anybody. They haven't beaten a ranked team in the top 50, so there's still some work to do.
Yeah, they got to get a signature win maybe in these next few, and
Absolutely.
they could do it the way they're playing
Sure.
right now. Big picture for a second, John. Kansas leads the Big 12 right now. Any chance Oklahoma can make a run and maybe win that conference crown?
Well, I mean, Kansas has Missouri at home Sunday, and Missouri looked really, really good last night against K-State.
Mm-hmm.
K-State had won 7 and 8, and they were never in that game. And they also have Texas at home. Kansas is smiling. They're overachieving. They may not slow down. Advantage Kansas.
Yeah. Let's turn our attention to the women for a second. Oklahoma turns the ball over 29 times at Texas A&M, and they lose by 1. Is that a good or a bad thing?
You got to be really, really good or really, really bad to turn the ball over like 29 times and lose by 1. Sherry was obviously not pleased, but you know what? Her hands were tied, so to speak, because Whitney Hand was out and will be out till the tournament, and she is the calming influence and the most disruptive team in the Big 12. Was A&M, and they played them on the road. So it was a perfect storm for A&M.
Do you think as they get used to playing without Whitney Hand, they'll get some of those turnovers under control, or is she that important to them that maybe this is going to be a problem until she returns?
Well, she's a calming influence when she has a ball in her hand. Talk to Danielle Robinson. She's the one who's got to cherish the ball a little bit better than she has lately.
Yeah. Let's talk about Oklahoma State. They lost a midweek game to Kansas.
Yeah.
They look like they might be dead.
Dead team walking.
Wow.
Definitely. 4-9 is not going to get it cut. They won't win Bedlam this Saturday. You hate to say it, but it all rests on Andrea Riley. She's shooting like 26% from 3-point range and 35% from the field. And if she's alleged one of the best point guards in the country, you need a better point guard. She's not getting it done.
They will have to win the Big 12 tournament now. I don't think there's any way around it.
No question.
Yeah. John will continue to provide in-depth coverage of Big 12 basketball. Make sure to check out his Big 12 page every Tuesday. To follow all the news and analysis, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.
Let's see it.